I have a really important subject that I would love to talk to you about today, and it's organ donation. The problem we see with organ donation is that there's a lot of myths around it. A lot of them pertaining to religion, or, oh, my life is less important. No, it's not true, none of it. One study that was done found that people who watch negative things on TV about certain subjects, i.e. organ donation, tend to view it more negatively than they would if they had watched something more positive about it. And while this makes sense, we don't really think about it until we actually go, hey, they're right. I watched this about this food being disgusting and I don't like this food all of a sudden. But I tried it, it's amazing. Same thing happens with any form of media. Your friend says, no, I'm not an organ donor, I can't do that. But why? Well, I heard. Well, you heard, did you look it up? Well, no. These are how myths get perpetuated. One of the biggest myths that we have is if I go to the hospital and I'm an organ donor, it means my life is less important. This is not true. Your life is as valuable as anybody else's. The facility is there to make sure that everybody gets the same amount of care, no matter if you're an organ donor, a kidney donor, tissue donor, blood donor, it does not matter. Cancer patient, chemo patient, you're all treated the same because all life is valuable. The second biggest misconception, oh, my religion, they don't allow it. All major religions condone organ donation. And the reason for this being is they see it as a gift of oneself to another person. We call this charity, right? Well, there's a very small sect of people who say you can't do that, but it's maybe 1% of an overall. But basically your Christians, your Muslims, your Jews, everybody else says, hey, that's okay. And you're not going to find too many of us who aren't somewhere in the mainstream. The third biggest problem that we see is that people just have this idea that you can't give unless you're deceased. So they say, well, you know what, I'm going to live to a ripe old age of 90. Who's going to want my organs then? But you can't account for car crashes, you can't account for illness. I mean, there are morbid things to think about, right? But we still have to think about them and go, you know what, if something happens to me, I want to be able to give the gift of life to other people. You can also give certain organs without being deceased. You can give kidneys, you can give lobes of your lung, and you can give lobes of your kidney, or not your kidney, your liver. These are really important vital organs that other people need. So I'm hoping that by hearing what I've had to say today, that you'll consider going out and becoming an organ donor. And this can be done in various ways. You can do it at the DMV, you can do it online, and if there's any questions, please don't hesitate to go to the internet and look this kind of thing up. There's plenty of information, and you can always go to your medical provider, and they'll be happy to provide